You are all passengers on a passenger ferry. Just off Folly Point in Massachusetts, there is the Beacon Island Lighthouse, which you can see, which keeps light over the very dangerous rocky waters around Folly Point. You're on the ship, the SS Essex County, run by the Mantuxet Shipping Company. It's a mixed passenger and cargo vessel, and you're all travelling to Rockport for various reasons. It's getting dark. It's about 8 o'clock when suddenly the lighthouse light goes out and a storm comes rolling in. The Apocalypse players present The Lightless Beacon, When the Lights Went Out. A Call of Cthulhu 7th edition scenario by Leigh Carr with Lynne Hardy. Starring Dan Wheeler as Daffith Taff Llewellyn and Joseph Chance as Cal Castaigne, with special guest Jessica Temple as Daphne Bagg. Anything else vaguely human that you hear is your keeper of arcane lore, Dominic Allen. We join our unwitting and unwilling investigators aboard a modest passenger ship sailing for Rockport, Massachusetts on the 12th of April, 1926, just as they are about to be hurled into darkness, chaos, and possibly the sea. Act 1. The Isle is full of noises. The crew are hurrying around, there's people calling to one another. Suddenly, there is a horrible metallic crunching noise, and the entire ship kind of bumps and rocks. Sea spray coming over the edge, and crewmen are shouting that the ship is foundering, they've hit the rocks, they need to evacuate, and people are being hurried. There aren't many passengers on board. People are being hurried to the rowboats. The three of you end up in a rowboat together, and before you can even sort of take stock of what's happened, one of the crewmen is pushing you off into the pitch dark. Make for that away! Make for Beacon Island!
Oh, right. Oh.
I'll see this ship steady all the way to Beacon Island. Don't you worry about that. You can trust me. And I am clambering to the to grab the oars in the rowlocks or whatever they're called.
And one of them shouts, "Good luck, Taff!"
Thanks, Charlie. You too.
Is this all you have, madam? Do you not have any bags with you? Do you have a bag?
Daphne? Yes, Daphne Bagg. That's my name.
Do you have a bag?
No, Daphne. That's my first name. My last name is Bagg.
Miss Daphne, I don't understand. You there? I don't understand. Here, I'll give you a hand.
A handbag? See, I made a joke. I understand your meaning, sir.
Don't worry. Everybody gets nervous the first time they're in a terrible marine accident.
As you say that, the entire rowboat sort of pitches suddenly to one side as water crashes over you.
This is just a satchel. It was the only thing that I could lay my hands on, Miss Daphne. A painter's satchel. You'll forgive me. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't quite have my sea legs. I'm a little club. Ow! Oh, I fall over. As I lack dexterity.
The rain's kind of in your eyes now, and you're rowing and you can't really see which way you're going. You're hoping for the best. You're all soaked through, and suddenly you hit something. Again, it sounds like something sharp, but everyone can give me a combined education and spot hidden roll. So you roll once and see if you pass on both or one of them.
I'm under both. Is it hard better, or is it regular?
Makes no difference, really. Just need to know which one you've passed on.
How did Daphne Bagg do?
I'm under both, actually.
Great.
Yeah.
So if you're under the normal number, then you've passed. If you're under half that number, which is the next number in the box, then that's a hard success. And if you're under the third number, which is a fifth, that's an extreme success. And so sometimes you need a harder success because it's a difficult challenge, or sometimes if you get an extreme success, you get something a bit extra. So who passed what?
What was that? I can't see anything down here. I can only see the bottom of the boat. Ow! Ow! My head! Ow! Not a clue.
Fail there, yep. How did Daphne Bag do? You passed on both.
I passed on both.
And what about Taff?
I've passed both comfortably.
Fantastic. So Daphne and Daffy, you realise that you've hit some twisted metal in the sandbanks lurking just below the surface. Your knowledge there, you realise it's probably part of a ship, although you can't recall hearing of a wreck that's happened around here for quite some time. And you also see the metal with your spot hidden rolls. You can see it as you sort of get around it and get free. It's sort of sticking up out the water. It's got no identifying marks on it. It's got no barnacles or general sort of deterioration. So it hasn't been there for very long. Now then, can I have from Taff a pilot boat roll, please, to avoid the rocks?
What was that sound? What was the sound? Madam, are you all right?
I think we hit some sort of a wreck. I haven't seen a wreck on any of the charts around here, but maybe they don't share the latest charts with the engineers. That is bang on my pilot boat. 20 on a 20.
Fantastic.
I should be better than that, really. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, so you bump into a couple of rocks, but not enough to get stuck or hold. So you manage to get onto the sandbanks of Beacon Island, which is where the lighthouse is, without having to swim for it. Yeah, but so yeah, you manage to get up. You have to sort of jump out to pull it up the beach a bit.
You know what that wry comment from Dom means? It means that those 10 skill points that I just spent on swim, they're gone. That's it. That was it right there.
Sucker.
You're not out of the woods
You
yet.
never know. Yeah.
You notice there is a small pier near your approach, so you can try and sort of reach that if you want, rather than go up the sort of rocky beach.
Reach that in the boat, or are we already out?
Yeah. Just to retcon slightly, you could go towards the pier.
I think I will do that. If I spot it in the dusky light,
Yeah.
I will sort of notice that we have a lady on board, and I will steer us towards the pier, the jetty.
Why, thank you, sir.
I ain't no lady.
Just
What? Oh. This is a satchel. I'm carrying a satchel. It's a painter's satchel.
a picture satchel.
And a picture satchel. Did you say painter's bag? Did you say that's your handbag? I don't know what I'm talking about.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you above all this
Rain
rain.
is awful. I'm soaked to the skin. Madam,
Terribly loud.
I only have my light summer jacket,
Oh, it seems to be easing off. What a relief.
which is absurd because it's, what is it? Is it March?
It's April.
April.
It is,
Sorry, it's
in
April.
fact, the 12th of April.
An April
April shower. Oh.
Oh, you have that expression here as well. I will.
Where are you
offer my
from? Are you from Kentucky?
No, Wales.
Peru? Are you from Peruvians? They sometimes speak like that.
Many do. I offer my hand to.
Are you English?
I'll try not to take offence at that comment, sir.
It's the rain. I'm sorry. I
Hold out my hand again and try and help someone out of the boat and onto the jetty.
Oh, thank you, kind gentlemen. That is very sweet of you. I fear I may slip in these slippery shoes.
are they particularly nice shoes?
I found them in a dustbin in Georgia. They don't quite fit, so my toes are curled, which is why I need all the assistance I can get.
Why don't we just get inside the keep there? I know the lighthouse. I know the keeper of this place. A charming man called Michael Turner. I'm sure he'll be able to make us some hot tea or cocoa and warm us up after this nasty incident.
Oh, well, Mr. Toffee, that's so kind. It's wonderful that you're in the boat. What luck that we should have someone who knows the area this well. Madam, let me lend you a hand, madam.
Listen here. My name is Dafydd Llewellyn. My friends call me Taff. You might be able to see by my appearance, my stature, they call me Taff because I let them call me Taff because they're my friends. Maybe when we become better acquainted, you might have permission to call me Taff.
I'm so sorry. I just heard someone say, I'm sorry. Let me assist you there, madam. And then I sort of awkwardly put my hands in places that probably shouldn't be going to try and help Daphne bag up onto this, whilst almost slipping on the boat. I'm quite clumsy.
Keep your thoughts pure, Mr. What is your last name?
Cal Castaigne, artist. I'd shake your hand, but I'm terribly sorry. This is all so very stressful.
So after a few moments of sort of fumbling your way out of the boat, these three sodden figures are on this creaking, old and slick wet short pier. Maybe now's a good time to describe what you all look like. Now you get a chance to really sort of look at each other. Obviously soaking wet. But, what's Cal Castaigne look like?
I'm wearing a linen suit. Now, of course,
now see-through,
soaked through, with a somewhat flamboyant waistcoat with what look like sort of European designs, Byzantine threads of fine make, and very sort of fin de siècle kind of influence. They're very European. I've got an extravagant cravat pinned at the throat, and now soaked also. And the one item of any use is probably my scarf, which is large and inappropriately large, and wrapped around my shoulders, now sopping wet. I have a leather satchel which has a strange collection of tubes attached to it on the outside, including what is quite obviously a packed up small painter's easel. I think that was all I rescued from the wreck. I had very little time. I do also have a light summer jacket over the top of my suit jacket because it is April. So although I'm kidding myself, I have very fine shoes, at least 50 credit ratings worth. I'm handsome in a sort of big-nosed way. And Romanesque. Thank you. Much better. Aquiline. Certainly my profile is more striking than head on. I'm a little too intense. I'm trying to grow in a pencil mustache, I think, to be more dashing. A vision of the future is upon me there. And I think that, and I'm very tall, very thin, and a little ungainly, size 70.
Excellent.
But only constitution 40.
Oh dear. Tuberculosis.
And as I've stood on I think as I'm standing on the jetty, maybe tuberculosis, I'm clutching my left jacket pocket in a sort of, I'm just checking it's there. And and it is, right, Dom? It's there, isn't it? I do still have it. You said that we left in a hurry, so I'm just checking all of the things that we were given on our sheet are still with us, right?
Yes. Yeah. What about Taff?
I am attired almost ostentatiously like a mechanical engineer who works for a shipping company. I've got a heavy jacket with a sort of a flat cap type thing. And under the jacket, which is sort of open to my chest, I have a vest, which now, because of the rain, is clinging tightly to me in a very sort of sensual manner. I look incredibly strong, because I am. I'm even 6 foot, square set, sort of dark, serious, tries to be friendly, but it's a steely determination.
Tries. Oh, God, good luck, Daphne.
Oh, Lord.
And he's 29. He maybe looks a little older. But that's him.
Okay. And what about Ms. Bag?
That's Daphne. I don't like to talk about my appearance too much, but since you mention it, I am wearing my dustbin fine shoes, which I'm very proud of, even though I can't even walk in them. And I like to model myself on Gloria Swanson. So my brow is very penciled, very thin, and I like to think that my features are sharp, just like my wit and my humor. And I must admit, I do draw on this beauty spot. It is not an au naturel, as they say in France.
Is it
running in the rain? I was gonna say.
Well, if I could find my compact mirror, I would be able to tell you, sir. But I'd thank you not to mention it, as embarrassing as that is, my lord. My hair, before it got soaked, was set in fine pin curls, and my antique brooch that I wear, that was my mother's. I mean, she is practically an antique, me being 39 and all, is beset with rubies that gleam in the sunlight. It is real. I got it from a man in Boston Harbor one time, and I checked it out for myself. I am a qualified, verified antiquier, so I know what I'm talking about. And my stockings, not that you need to know about them. And I am 5'3", but I'm a mighty, mighty soul.
Yeah. So 2 tall men and a pretty short woman. Yeah, I love it.
So you're stood on this pier. The rain is sort of easing a bit, but it's still stormy, and the wind's whipping you. You can hear a noise as well. This kind of churning noise. Anyone who wants to do a mechanical or electrical repair roll might be able to identify it.
I would love to do a mechanical repair, if that's all right. No good. That's...
Well, I mean, let's roll anyway, right? I mean, may as well.
May as well.
Ooh, so close. No, it's still 8 luck, so I'm not going to spend
My
it.
mechanical repair is 50. I rolled a 81. I'm inclined to push it.
Do you hear that? I think... what's that sound? 18. I was tempted to spend the luck, man, but I don't think I can at this early stage.
And when I hear Cal say, do you hear that? I say, yes, I can hear it. I got some sort of mechanical noise. So I'd like to push my roll by moving closer to the sound to see if I can,
of course,
work out what it is. So, Jess, what you can do sometimes is push your roll by explaining how you're going to try again, and then you just re-roll the same thing. And if I pass, then it's good. If I fail it again, then Dom has a permission to do something awful to me.
I don't know what I want.
And I've unfortunately failed it.
We all want him to fail it, really.
Well,
of course. That's unlucky.
Last man standing.
So you sort of walk off up the pier, saying to the others, I can hear something. And you walk off the edge of the pier. There's a sort of dirt track
Off the edge of the pier.
and lots of scrub. And in the distance, there are trees. And you can just about maybe see the outlines of buildings. You can see the outline of the lighthouse, obviously. But what you don't see are the rocks around where you're walking. And you go completely arse over tit over one of these rocks. Really, cut your shin up a bit. And you go down like a sack of shit. So you lose a hit point, unfortunately.
Oh my goodness!
You're fairly sure you're bleeding a little bit. It's a surface wound, but still, it stings.
Mr. Oh, goodness me, what was his name?
Mr. Taffy, are you okay?
Mr.
I think you hear me yelling out, "God damn it!" And then I say, "I'm fine. I just slipped. I just scraped my leg. I'll be fine. The lighthouse is this way."
Have you hurt yourself, sir? Are you bleeding?
Oh, it's no problem. I'm sure Mr. Turner up at the lighthouse can take a look at it. The lighthouse is just up this way.
What was... is it Mr. Landywin? What? I'm so sorry. It was the rain. It was...
Llewellyn.
Llewellyn.
That's
Llewellyn.
probably the easiest way for you to pronounce
Like
it.
Louise Ellen. Okay, Llewellyn. And I'm Mr. Castaigne. I'm so sorry. I could have a look for you.
No, we'll look when we get to the lighthouse.
I did spend some time with the ambulance, those brave ambulance men in 1917 in Italy. I've toured Europe, you see.
Is that so? And
I say, and I lift my chin back as if I'm gazing at stars when I say that.
I might take this opportunity to just look out to see if I can see any other boats coming in this way, because presumably there were a few lifeboats were there that left the ship as it went down.
Yeah, well, a couple. There really weren't many passengers on board. There was you guys, maybe a couple of others, and the crew.
I didn't mix with them on this occasion.
You, I mean, it's really dark out there. It's pitch dark, really.
Okay.
It's actually, in fact, I tell you what you can do. You can give me a spot hidden roll, or a natural world roll.
Is that just him?
Go spot hidden.
Yeah, just.
Oh, it's an extreme success on my spot hidden.
So you're sort of trying to see, and you realise it's really dark. Obviously, the clouds there's a lot of cloud cover, and then you realise it's a new moon. There's no light except for the stars, but they're pretty occluded. There's no moon tonight, which explains why it's so dark.
Yeah,
but yeah, you can't make them out. In fact, it makes you wonder how far out it foundered, because there's a lot of rocks around here. Hence the lighthouse.
I sort of flex my muscles and just inwardly take a bit of pride in how well I must have rowed to hit Beacon Island so quickly, given how far away we must have found it.
So yeah, you're all on this. You find yourselves, walking up the pier. I mean, the island is it's small. It's really just the lighthouse on here and some, a copse of woods, and you're walking up the pier, and it's sort of, slightly cone-shaped, the island. So you're walking slightly up a sort of gradient up this dirt path. It's quite muddy. And actually, everyone can give me a spot hidden roll.
Vital.
I am.
Oh wow, my spot hidden. I'm rolling really badly.
Should I not roll again because I've just sort of been looking out in the other direction?
No, you can roll again. Well, it depends. Have you all been walking? I take it are you walking up the path towards the...
Yeah, I think I've been trying to encourage them to follow me towards that.
Oh, yeah.
In which case...
Yeah.
In which case, yeah, everyone can do this fight.
I think I stop, though, and I look around myself and think, goodness me, this is exertion. I not what I'm used to at all. And I just slip. I rather than looking around me in my 88 spot hidden, I surreptitiously slip my hand into my. I mean, it's not. I don't care if someone sees me. I'm not trying to hide it. It's not léger de main. But I'm pulling out my hip flask and I'm just having a sip of what's inside it, and then I put it back and I just close my eyes, and I hear the sound of that Italian singer in Firenze. I think of that moment, and I calm myself. And I open my eyes again, and I try to look at the landscape as best I can, and I imagine the canvas. Well, not canvas, the thick paper that I would create the wash with. I failed. 88, I failed.
Great. How did Daphne and Daphnis do?
She did very well. Well, no, she just did well. She passed.
And I got a hard success.
Fantastic. So you both, Castaigne is busy in some sort of reverie behind you. But as you approach the lighthouse, in front of the lighthouse, attached to it is the cottage. You get the sense there are maybe some small little outhousey buildings behind the lighthouse, just in the line of this wood's a bit grand. The thick, dense trees and undergrowth that hem in around the lighthouse. But as you're walking up to the door, you see that the front door of the cottage is slightly ajar, and there's a faint light coming from inside somewhere. The churning noise has got louder. The lighthouse is still out, So it's still quite dark, except for this glow from inside the house. But you do notice in that glow that in the mud by the front door, there are these boot prints. Clearly they are boot prints. But then there's also some kind of animal track. Taff or Daphne, you're welcome to do a... well, you won't have any biology or zoology, but you could do natural world roll if you want.
I certainly like to do a tracking roll on the prints.
Absolutely, yeah.
Can I just confirm? So the light is coming from the cottage, which is not... Was it attached to the lighthouse, or it's just set back from it? It's physically attached to it?
Yes, it is connected to the cottage.
Okay, and then just to confirm, the prints, the boot prints and the animal prints are in the doorway of the lighthouse or the cottage?
The cottage. So you access the lighthouse through the cottage.
Ah, sorry. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I'll do my tracking roll, if that's all right. Oh dear. I've rolled a 99. And my tracking is 40, so I think that's a fumble.
You feel like you've got a pretty good idea where these tracks go.
I bet I do.
and you actually start wandering off. You sort of veer off from the others.
Mr. Taffy?
And suddenly you're in this sort of waist-high grass and undergrowth. I mean, it's quite thick going. And it's actually pitch dark, and you're in the edge of the tree line. And you think you see something. Way in the distance, in the darkness, there's a light. A really small yellow light. In fact, there's two of them. And as soon as you see it, it's gone. And you suddenly get the horrible feeling you're being watched.
Miss Daphne, are you all right?
I will admit to you, Mr.
Castaigne, Cal. Call me Cal.
Mr. Cal, I am slightly afraid. I came on this trip to surprise a friend, and now I feel like maybe it was a wrong idea. I'm worried. Should I be worried?
He looks like he knows what he's doing. We'll be fine. He said something about surviving other maritime disasters. We couldn't be in better hands. I'm pretty sure, anyway, at least. Is that a cottage over there?
Yeah, in fact, the Daphne and Cal, you have this little conversation, you look back and there's no sign of Taff. He's disappeared into the darkness.
What's he up to?
I don't know. I thought I had eyes on him, but now I can't see. I can't see anything.
Oh, no, it's all right. It's all right. Perhaps... Oh, I think my cigarettes might be soaked. Let me see. Perhaps a gasper would enlighten us. Oh dear, my matches are ruined. Do you have a lighter?
Let me check in my shoes.
That's a great line.
It got slightly soaked from all the water, but we could see.
Should we roll luck?
No, I think you can. If you've got a lighter in your shoe, I think you've probably still got it.
I will take two of my cigarettes out, the two that are least moist. Terrible. And pass one to you, and light them as best I can. Yeah, and hand you a cigarette. I find it steadies my nerves. He does seem to have wandered off. He seems incredibly capable for a Scotsman. They're very capable, though, the Scots. Wait, do I have that right?
Direction is non-paralleled.
Daphne, do I have that right? I don't want to put my foot in it again. I said he was English, and he clearly isn't. Maybe he isn't.
I can't understand a word he's saying.
Is he Irish? Oh no, how embarrassing. But he's not Peruvian. I thought he was Peruvian at first. Anyway, what was he looking at? And I take a step towards the path. Do I see anything that he's taken?
No.
Nothing.
Unless you well, you can give me a spot hidden roll because you didn't see the.
Effectively, shall I push the roll?
Yeah,
I'll push the roll. Do you know what I do? I I try to imitate the thing that he did that I was very taken with. He was very pleased with himself. For some reason, it's beyond my understanding as to why. But he was very pleased with himself when he was on the jetty. And he did this whole sort of chest-busting thing. And I think, yeah, I'll try that. I'll try a chest-busting move in front of this good-looking woman.
Mr. Cal, I will admit, in your soaked linens, I am a fluster.
Well, don't you worry. Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean... I rearrange my scarf. I wrap it round me and try and focus the pin. I've passed that on a 33, so that is not a hard, but it's a success.
Well, you see these exact same tracks, and you can give me a natural world roll.
Oh yeah, nice, good. Wait, I think there might be tracks here, Daphne. Do you mind if I call you Daphne? Natural world 50. Oh man, my rolls have been bad. That's my first good roll, and now 59 on a 50.
Cal, what do you see? What's happening?
Wait. Let me get a little bit closer here. And here, could you pass me your lighter?
Of course.
And I hold the lighter over it, and that gives me that little bit of 9 luck. Fuck me, 9.
Oh, 9 luck.
I've done it. I've got to do something. Dan, I've got to turn the tide. He's utterly useless at this point. So 56 luck.
These footprints, there's the boot prints, the animal tracks, they are somehow duck-like, but that's what you first think. Whatever, it's a webbed foot. Did you? It was a regular success, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There's something unusual about it that you can't quite place.
Oh, I hate these guys.
The size?
Yeah, what is it about it?
The size is not
not
it's
too
about
unusual.
the same size as the boot print.
So it's pretty big.
Pretty big for a duck.
It's nice weather for ducks.
I think I say,
Right.
albatross. Water everywhere and not a drop to... Do you know Coleridge? Not personally, obviously, Daphne. Miss Bag. What a fascinating name.
On that note, I'm going to jump over to Taff, who's in the woods. You've got turned around looking for this thing you saw out the corner of your eye again, and seeing as you fumbled, you realise that you've got turned around a bit too much, and you can't actually see your way back to the lighthouse.
Mm-hmm. Great.
You're in this thicket.
Fantastic. Well, I'd like to draw my 38, just so I've got it in my hand, and I would like to stay very still and listen to see if I can hear if I can hear any movement from either the creature whose footprints I was following, the animal, or hopefully from my old pal who should be stationed here. So I'm going to do a listen roll. No, that's a bad fail. It's not quite a fumble, but no, it's a fail.
All you can hear is this sort of of the wind through the trees. And as you're trying sort of making a few movements around, going in this direction for a bit, then doubting yourself and turning back, getting even more turned around, your foot catches on something that's hard or firm, but a bit soft like flesh. And you look down, there's a leg. And there's a body connected to the leg.
Oh, this is fast. It's all happening now.
The body is a bloody mess. The innards have been dragged out of the body and slashed and trampled into the dirt. So there's these big, chunky bits of intestine that are all just squashed and split. And there's a shattered lantern. It's evident this happened recently. And the body is that of Michael Turner.
Your guy.
Give me a sanity roll.
Yeah.
I mean, bad enough that it was a dead body, but it's your guy.
Oh, that's a really good success on my sanity.
Okay, good. So you still lose a point of sanity.
Okay, fair enough.
And perhaps you let out an involuntary groan of horror.
Well, I mean, I'd like to. Fair enough, but would it be fair to maybe argue for a stealth roll to stop myself letting out an involuntary groan of horror?
Yeah, okay.
Thanks.
Sure, why not?
Thank you for being amenable to that. Yes, exactly my stealth. 50 on a 50.
Fine.
Stealth.
You managed to stifle it at the last second.
I go.
Using the old Welsh methods of stifling a groan, involuntary or otherwise.
Yeah, you think so? So I'll.
Yeah, what do you want to do?
I would like to just as quietly as I can pat down the body to see if there's anything in the pockets.
You find a concealed holster which is empty.
Ooh.
You find a badge revealing with a name on it, which is Warren Thomas. And the badge is for the Bureau of Investigation.
Right. Okay.
There is a 6-bullet revolver, a Smith & Wesson 38 Special, tangled in the innards. While you're sort of poking around in there, you can give me a first aid or a medicine roll to sort of examine the carcass.
So just to check, there's a Smith & Wesson revolver in the innards.
Yeah, like it's... Yeah.
Can I tell whether that's the gun that has been removed from the holster?
Yes, yeah, you're fairly confident, yes. I don't mean like he's swallowed it. I mean,
Sure. But
He's dropped.
There's not been some incident where, like, I wasn't expecting him to have a different weapon and that's someone else's weapon.
No.
A first aid or a medicine on the body, you said. No good. No, it's a 90 on my 30 first aid.
Okay. So you can't really glean anything about any specific details about how he died. But if you are looking at the gun, you see that its chamber has 5 live bullets remaining, along with 1 empty shell casing. So whatever attacked him, and you're fairly sure that he was attacked, he only had the chance to get off 1 round before it dropped him.
Yeah.
The damage on that gun is 1d10. That helps.
That's the same as mine.
Yeah, it might be the same. So, Daphne and Cal. It's been a while. He hasn't come back.
You see these tracks, Daphne. Do you think he followed them?
Well, he strikes me as the heroic type, so I wouldn't put it past him. I haven't seen these markings ever since I was in at an antique fair looking at the taxidermy. I can't place it. I mean, it's prehistoric to me.
Goodness. And you see that I've instinctively, when you said heroic, I've clutched my nipples slightly in a desperate attempt to hide the somewhat pinched frame that I present, even though tall, terribly skinny. And I say, yeah, goodness me, taxidermy. Well, so that must mean that you, wait, do you buy or sell, or both?
Both, sir.
Oh, how wonderful.
Well, yes, it can be quite lucrative if you're in the right field and you know your stuff.
And such items. I've never been much a painter of still life or of la mort nature, as they say in France. Oh, such a way they have on the continent of describing these things. You know, death is held in the moment. But anyway, let's not focus on that. Perhaps we should call for him. What do you think?
I'm scared to make any noise, sir. I don't want to attract whatever it is that is followed us here.
You don't mean to think that it could be wild? As in dangerous? Do you think it could be... And then it all sort of falls into play. You see his eyes moving rapidly. Prehistoric. You don't mean... Oh my goodness, it could be dangerous on this island. Yes, of course. Perhaps we should get in. And there's a door there, right?
Yeah, and it's ajar.
Oh, boy. I think it's the first time he's seen it, right?
Sure.
The door is ajar. That's not right. Is it?
There's a faint light coming from somewhere in the hallway beyond.
Do you think we should maybe check and also get out of the dark?
Well, he's been so long. And it's that classic moment where he's really torn. He swings, he looks down the track leading away into these bushes in the dark, and he looks back at this kind of faint light through the door, and he looks back at her and goes, I don't know, I suppose...
Are you still holding your nipples, by the way?
yes, exactly. A little bit like an embarrassed swimmer. I'm going, I don't know, maybe... No, you're absolutely right, of course. Let's get you inside and make sure...
Get me out of these wet stockings, and maybe we could come up with a plan. Lock the door behind us, just in case.
Now, she's an attractive woman. How attractive is she? When she says, get out of these wet stockings, I might be confused.
How dare you, sir?
Well, exactly, but, he's an artist. He gets confused about this kind of stuff.
Oh, confusion.
And then he banishes the moment. He goes, no, now is not the time. Okay, yes, of course, you're absolutely right. How absurd of me. Let's get inside, and if necessary, I'll call for him as soon as we know that this is safe to do so. And then he drops into a whisper. But I'm a little concerned that the door is ajar. What if it's just as unsafe inside as it is outside?
Then we proceed with caution, Mr. Cal. I have every faith in you.
Daphne, you're right. I mean, Miss Bagg, you're right. Please call me just Cal. Mr. Cal sounds very strange. Yes. Well, Carlton, if you must. That's what my mother calls me. But yes, Miss Bagg, we must go inside. And then I step forward, but I'm somewhat tentative. I think I take my improvised weapon of the club that is... it would break instantly. It gives me no bonus. But I take my collapsible easel out, and I push open the door.
And I'm just stood shivering with the little match, like, flickering in the cool breeze.
Abandoned you, Dan. Sorry.
Yep.
So, Daphne, you can give me a listen roll.
Mm-hmm.
And while you're doing that, Cal, you push open the door with a creak into a hallway which is not lit. There is a light towards the end of the corridor. It's a sort of narrow corridor. There's been an attempt to make it homely. There's sort of patterned wallpaper that's peeling at the corners. There's wooden floors with a carpet runner down the hallway that's looking very threadbare and worn. It's in need of a lick of paint. It's clearly very lived in, But you do notice there are electric lights in here. They're just not on. And right by the door, you can see there's a shape, possibly coats hanging up. But again, it's dark. The only light is coming from a doorway at the end of the hallway.
I think I turn to Daphne Bagg and I say in an intense whisper, quite close to you now, wait, it just occurs to me. The light isn't on. Well, that's not right. Because he has been down the coast, and so he's got used to this. There is this routine along the coast of watching the rock. So it occurs to me that some disaster may have occurred.
At that point, I'm going to ask you, Daphne, what did you get on your listen roll?
So it's double the number it should be on my thing. So that's bad, right?
Yeah. What?
If it's 50, it's really bad.
Oh, it's 52.
What's the number of your listen?
Oh, 20.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh.
So you just it's just a normal fail.
Okay, normal fail for me.
For the few seconds that Cal Castaigne is sort of peering into the cottage and you're stood on your own with a lighter, suddenly you hear all the sort of the rustling of the trees, the wind and everything, and nothing else.
Mr. Taffy? Mr. Cal? Oh, Lord.
Yes, Miss Bagg, it occurs to me that something's not right. If the light isn't working, well, for a start, we should get the light back up. Goodness me, there could be other ships out there, I say, and a light of inspiration crosses over my face. We should get the light back up. But we really do need that Mr. Allen, Mr. Lou Allen. We need him.
Lou Allen.
Sorry.
What are you suggesting, Mr. Cal? I mean, Cal. I mean,
No, it's all right.
sir?
It's all right. I regret it already. I think we have no choice, but we have to either try the lights or call out for help. But if some animal has attacked these poor people, some wild, I don't know what, albatross? That doesn't make sense. No, I think there's just birds fly here, and I think there's some other... No, that doesn't make any sense either. Anyway...
I never want to assume the worst, Cal, but I fear that, do you know how to switch the light on?
No, but that's why we need Ellen. We need him.
Well, can we at least search for a fuse box or some kind of...
Well, that's a good idea. I'm not terribly good with such things. In a dream, I imagined that I was very good at mechanical repair. But it's not the case. That was just a dream. Sometimes these things come across my artistic mind, you understand.
Well, dreams are no good now, Mr. Cal. We need to think practically
now. You're
now.
absolutely right. I'm sorry, Daphne. I'm sorry.
Step out of it.
Yes. No, she doesn't. Maybe she does. I don't know. No, yes, indeed. 5'3" to 6 foot. It's probably good.
It's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, it's right.
I'll get you in the armpit.
Right hook.
He turns around and goes, "Hello? Is there anybody here?"
There is no response.
Damn it. I think we need that we need Lou. Let's go get him.
Meanwhile, out in the thicket, what's Llewellyn doing? Llewellyn.
Well, Lou has taken the... so I've taken that gun, even though I've got one, because I'm figuring that there's a chance that one of the others might know how to fire a revolver. And at the least, I don't want anyone else to get their hands on it. So I take that. I didn't find any papers on the body, did I? It was just the badge.
Yeah.
Well, I need to find my way back to the lighthouse. So if I can't see any light from here, I guess I'm still listening out to see if I can hear the other two. Perhaps I might have heard the shout that came. Can I do another listen roll?
Yeah.
Before I do that, let me just think if there's anything else that I can more sensibly do. I mean, could I tracked the prints out here. Could I track them back to the lighthouse?
Potentially, yeah.
That's what I'd like to try. So I'll do a track roll. So I track the prints out here. I fumbled it, so... But what I would like to do is, presumably, there are prints near this body, and they will be the same prints. It may be the boot prints this time, not the animal prints. Yes, that's a regular success on my track roll.
Well, you do find those animal prints again, and sure enough, you start following them. And yes, eventually you finally see the cottage, probably just as Cal Castaigne is coming back outside to talk to Daphne that second time. It was just as you said, we need to find Lou. And in fact, at that moment, Cal and Daphne, you can give me listen rolls if you want.
Oh, at last. Passed a roll without spending enormous amounts of luck.
No.
It's bordering on a hard. I could spend one luck and make it hard. 50, 26.
How did Daphne do?
I lost.
I lost.
I lost it, sir.
So Daphne, you don't hear Taff coming out of the trees, but Cal, you do. You hear him sort of trudging through the
I
grass.
swing with my improvised club, pointing it nervously.
You realise it's Taff, but with your hard success, there's that moment of relief when you hear a rustling in the thicket on the other side of the island.
What Taff sees is me pointing at him, a moment of relief, and then I spin round. What was that? Miss Bag, did you hear that?
What, Mr. Cal? Taffy, what did you see out there?
Are we all sort of within a few paces of each other and of the house?
I think if you've been walking towards it this whole time, then yes, you
I'd probably take a few steps to the other side of the path, but like only a few.
I say firmly as I sort of almost step into a jog towards them, and I start bustling them into the house. I say, "Quick, into the house now! Get inside!"
What? Yes, I saw something. There was a Miss Bag.
And I'm sort of trying to bustle them in while looking over my shoulder.
I slip a little on the path in my ungainly way. I'm a little bit like a sort of cormorant at times. I'm so tall.
You love playing characters like this.
It's just literally what I've got. 70 size, 45 dexterity.
I feel like Daphne's still got her light. She's like clung to it. She's terrified and she can't let it go. It's just still flickering, like really close to her face now, so she looks slightly insane. You know,
give me a luck roll.
A luck roll.
See if you set fire to your eyebrows.
Run out of gas, maybe. I don't know.
Is that literally just where it says look? Okay.
Yeah, so you're just trying to roll
Got
under.
a good score there, 75, right?
Yeah, so I've rolled a 35.
Yeah, your light is still working.
It's still working, sir.
Oh dear. The first of many luck rolls I'm sensing. So what is it, Mr. Allen? What is it?
I'd like to, if they're still sort of lurking outside the house and they're not being bustled in, I'd like to attempt to persuade roll.
Oh no, I'm being bustled. I'm just being awkward.
Fine.
I think it's safe to assume that you have bustled in, and just as you get inside the door, because Daphne has her lighter lit, you can see a light switch. The sort of flickering shadows from the tiny
This
Zippo lighter.
amazing lighter. It's never going to run out. Oh, yes.
So I clock the light switch, but I clock where it is, but I don't touch it, and I sort of bustle them inside and shut the door.
I think there might be someone. I think there might be someone. Llewellyn.
I put my finger to my lips.
I clasp my hand over my mouth, and the other hand goes to my other nipple. One nipple.
And I don't light my face with my lighter. But I managed to steel myself and stop myself from freaking out.
Well, what I'll also tell you then, while you're stood still, but still with the lighter, is that the other things that are immediately noticeable by the door, there are 3 coat hooks by the door, but only one of them has a well-worn looking oilskin on it. There are 2 pairs of galoshes in a tray beneath the coat hooks. There's space for another pair, and there are a pair of indoor shoes next to the tray. 2 oil lanterns are hanging from hooks next to the oilskin, and there's also an empty hook suggesting that one of the lamps is missing.
Do we all see this? We all clock this?
Yeah.
If it's all right, after a moment of silence and just sort of listening, slightly sotto voce, I say, I guess there's no reason for my cover anymore. Agent David Carmelo of the Bureau of Investigation. Some weird shit going down out here.
My hand drops down and I go,
Mr. Taffy? I don't understand.
I know. I went pretty deep with my cover. I guess my Welsh accent was pretty impressive.
Oh, that was
Had you
Welsh?
two fooled.
I
He sort of quietly seethes.
I don't understand. Of course it was Welsh. It makes so much sense to me now. Oh, Mr. Carmelo? Agent Carmelo? What on earth is happening? Oh no. Is it... Who would it be? Fuck.
Well, it's 1926. although
26.
It's April, so...
Is it is it the Peruvians?
I say, well, listen, I was stationed out here looking for smugglers, but I tell you, it ain't what I seen out there in the woods. That any Irish do that. It ain't the Jews, and it sure ain't the Italians. I can tell you that, and I know you know that much as well, Cal.
How much do you know about us? I say, casting a nervous glance back to Daphne Bag.
About you two?
Yes.
I don't know shit about you two.
Oh, and I touch my left jacket pocket, and I just pat it. Oh, fine.
But there's a body in those woods.
This was an Apocalypse Players production. For more information about the podcast, go to apocalypseplayers.com. Thanks for listening.